They've been to some Final Fours. UB and Canisius, they both finished in the middle of the pack in their respective conferences over the last couple of years, but they've had some signs of opportunities where they can move up to that next level.
Buffalo ball and the throw in up along the far sidelines. Batted down. Early stages of the first half. 35-33, the time remaining here in the opening half from the Dembski Sports Complex on the campus of Canisius College on really a picture-perfect day. First day of classes here at Canisius will be after the weekend is over. I know a lot of local schools, the kids are already back in class, and it's an exciting time of year just in general, not just with the students returning to campus, but you know you've got the baseball playoffs coming into focus, the World Series around the corner, the NFL set to kick off. Who knows if we're going to have a hockey season with the National Hockey League and their labor dispute ongoing right now, but it's just such an exciting time of year. I love early fall when kids come back to class.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a good time of year, and you know, kids are coming back, and the weather's cooling down a little bit, and you got a lot of sports opportunities for yourself.
Pass out in front, too far, turnover, and the ball will belong to Buffalo. As a matter of fact, this weekend we'll have the opportunity to head out to Cleveland and check out the New York Yankees-Cleveland Indians game on Sunday. So, talk about a good time of year.
It's a great time of year to go out and see sports, and like we said, you know, today's going to be a warm day out. It's going to cool off as the time goes on, and I know here with UB, they're excited about football coming up for their season with Jeff Quinn and the crew. But you know, here, you know, I mean, the nice thing is that you know soccer takes center stage, and this is generally the first team to get out and get playing. I mean, I know the Canisius women, they've already played a game. So I mean, you get an opportunity, especially when you come back on campus early. I mean, this gives an opportunity. There's a great crowd here tonight. You know, they wanted to bring the freshmen out and get the freshmen really into that. I mean, they'll take their lumps, so you know it's a nice opportunity. But also for Canisius' women, that's a learning experience for them, and they can go back and they can take a look at that and say, all right, you know, here's what we got to improve, here's what we got to work on. They can work on those things before the conference season starts.
Samuels with a nice steal, went one-on-one with the defenseman, nearly got by the second one. Loose ball to the far side is going to roll out of bounds, and Canisius will get the throw in. 32-37. That's the time remaining on the clock. Griff's up by a score of 1-0 on the early goal.
They're challenging those attackers for UB, whereas UB, their defense in the midfield is really laying off.
Bouncing off the head of Latte. Sitar again had it stripped, and Andrew Winko, number 8 in white, has been all over the field here in the first half. Knocked down in front, Schrain the defender. Tried to ward off his man. Very good second effort there from Austin Stephanie, the freshman from Watkins Glen, wearing number 22 for Buffalo. Schrain eventually comes away with it, sent out a tackle inside the Canisius end. Play will continue, although number 23, Gavin Falconer, the senior for Canisius, wasn't too happy about the no call.
Well, even defensively for Canisius, Alex DeCarroll's, he did an excellent job. And I mean, another kid who's not too far from here, from Ontario, but he did a good job defensively of just disrupting Stephanie just a little bit, but it took him a second to get himself set. You know, we'll take a look at this last tackle, but I mean, really, you've just seen Canisius just come out and just really be the aggressor. And you see, so speaking of aggressive play, is Letty right there, but
I think that was a good no call. Latte was going for the ball and ended up getting a piece of Falconer toward the tail end. Of course, Falconer's going to plead his case.
Well, I'm one of those. I want you to let the game play. Unless it's really egregious, don't make the call. Let the guys decide what happens on the field. And again, unless it's blatantly obvious, let them play. And I think the officials so far have done a really good job of of letting these guys play and let each team dictate their own tempo offensively.
With 24-24 left in the first half, alongside Brendan McDaniels, my name is David Miller. Producer and director is Eric Carpy down in the truck, and our entire Time Warner Cable Sportsnet crew. Happy to have you along. A crosstown rivalry between the Canisius College Golden Griffins in white at home against the University at Buffalo Bulls in blue on the road. Interesting to note, too, it's a 1-0 lead for Canisius. Last year, the game-winning goal was scored by Andrew Inko. That man right there made SportsCenter's top 10 highlights that day. It was a number 2 highlight, and here today, Inko had the primary assist on the game's only goal so far from Asani Samuels.
Yeah, Inko's had a really nice game so far. We'll take a look at that last shot, a little bit off the mark by Cole. And he's one of those guys that we had talked about. He's one of those guys that has been able to score early last season for UB, and it's really the first time he's been able to get a touch on the ball. And you kind of saw his reaction after that, a little bit of frustration setting in, because really, I mean, that it wasn't really a shot on goal, and it wasn't really a scoring opportunity because it wasn't really a threat to Canisius defensively. So even you've seen, we're closing in on 22 minutes here and gone by in this game, and we really haven't seen a quality scoring opportunity by UB yet.
Maxim Kowal, the guy to watch offensively, as we mentioned in the pregame show. He wears number 9 for Buffalo, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He's a senior from nearby Mississauga, Ontario. But again, he hasn't had many opportunities. That time he did have a chance, and it shot about 10 feet wide. Canisius, quick break in the other direction, rolls wide. It's going to be rolled past the end line, and Viscosi will let it go.
Yep, now you're going to see a corner kick opportunity for Canisius, and this will only be their second one. But watch the difference between what we saw with UB with their corner kicks and Canisius so far in this first half, is Canisius has been able to convert their corner kicks into quality scoring opportunities.
Gavin Falconer, number 23 in white for Canisius, the senior from Waterford, Ireland, sets up the corner kick. You see a flurry of players right in front of the goaltender, Jonathan Viscosi. Corner kick with nobody home. That sailed way off the mark. Back into the corner and out of bounds. That'll be a turnover, Buffalo ball.
Yeah, that one just got in a little bit too deep for where Canisius had their attackers set up. But I mean, watch this now here in the midfield. Watch how aggressive Canisius is defensively. They do not make it easy for the dribblers for UB, and you see again another turnover.
Schrain chases it down, gently guides it back towards his goaltender. Kareem Gray waits, boots it ahead very patiently. Jared Ott, the senior from Erie, Pennsylvania. Pass across toward midfield and over. Again, here comes the Canisius attack. Inko tried to slide behind the defense. Second opportunity here. Great play. Here come the Griffs. There's a shot on it. Viscosi makes the save. Viscosi robs Spearman from point-blank range.
And that was a big save for Viscosi, too, because that was a really nice-looking shot.
A great second effort for Canisius just to get that shot off.
Well, and you saw it, and again on that last transition, you saw Inko. I mean, he was wide open here on this right-hand side, and Shane Satar, the freshman from Pickering, Ontario, did an excellent slide to save that play. So, but let's take a look at this save again. I mean, it's a nice shot, and it's an even better save here.
Yeah.
You take a look at this boot, and you see Viscosi. I mean, he's kind of falling away after the shot by Denver Spearman. And I mean, that's a key right there, because if you don't make that save, it's a 2-0 game, and that really changes the complexion of this contest.
Nice job by Spearman to get past the first defender, and then he let the shot go past number 5, Lucas Fedler, getting it in on goal, only to have Viscosi slam the door shut. Griffs lead this one 1-0. It's Buffalo with the ball. The Bulls will put it into play inside the Canisius end.
You know, Spearman had 2 goals last year, and you see this Canisius team. I mean, they didn't score a whole lot of goals last year. Falconer led the team with 3, and Jared Ott, Spearman, and Steele each had 2 apiece. So there's not a whole lot of scoring. So to see them to get one in the early going was a big deal for the Griffins.
A lot of one-goal games last year. Some in the positive, some in the negative. A lot of one-goal losses, a lot of late losses. I mean, you live and learn. You grow up together. And like I said, only 3 newcomers on this Canisius team. And you get a sense that the chemistry is pretty good, even though this is just week number 1 in the regular season.
Well, more importantly, not only are you adding a couple freshmen in, but you're adding 3 quality freshmen and guys that have had successful 27 goals between his junior and senior seasons at Clarence. And DeCarroll's, he played 5 seasons at St. Christopher Catholic Secondary School up in Canada, and we've talked about him a few times already. He's made a couple plays here. Eric DeHound, he's coming in from Houghton College, and he's a 6'5" goalkeeper who was the conference player of the year for a Houghton team last year. And I mean, he's on the bench right now. So I mean, you're bringing in guys that are not only quality soccer players, but they're guys that can come in and help your team.
Something to keep an eye on here with just over 19 minutes remaining in the first half. The fact that the sun is starting to set to our left, and it is shining directly into the eyes of University of Buffalo goaltender Jonathan Viscosi. So we'll see if Canisius tries to take advantage of this in the last 18 minutes. Viscosi comes out and makes the save. It would have been offsides anyway. I don't think the play would have counted. But yeah, you see the sun shining right in Viscosi's eyes for the next 18-plus minutes. Then, of course, halftime, they'll switch sides, and the sun shouldn't be a problem for Canisius netminder Kareem Gray. But right now, the sun is shining right in his eyes.
Yeah, that's tough in that twilight because the lights are starting to come on, but the sun's still out and still shining on part of the stadium. And that's when sometimes you get that little home field advantage, and you know where the sun's shining and which goal you want to take. And I'm sure Kareem Gray said, "Listen, put my back to the sun, guys, for the first half."
And it is Kareem Gray who's got it right now.
Yeah, we really haven't seen Kareem Gray have to do too much today. I mean, he's come up a couple times and pick up a loose ball, but I mean, they really have not challenged him at all so far. And we talk about you have a couple really good goalies that you want to see who's going to step up and be the leader. I mean, he really hasn't had an opportunity to show anything because they haven't really had any good scoring chances on him.
Good looking number 00, Jonathan Viscosi, the senior netminder from Ottawa, Ontario. We mentioned the sun shining in his eyes, and right on cue, the lights here at the Dembski Sports Complex come on.
Yeah, and that's that interesting dynamic because half the field is in shade and half the field is in sun, so you need the lights in some spots, but you don't need it in other spots, but they're all coming on at the same time, so it's a difficult time of day for both of these teams to try to navigate up and down the field.
The inbound pass, far side, nice move, turnover, kicked away by the Buffalo defender. Knocked down, they'll bring it back, settle it down, pass to the open man, and that's going to be Jake Jacobs, number 4 from Hampshire, England. Pass along the near side, the turnover. Inko does a nice job to step up. Spearman back to Inko. They play over, Buffalo ball.
But once again, you've seen Canisius. They're very aggressive defensively in that midfield right here where UB's been a little bit lax on it. And you see Canisius coming up right and challenging them, and Canisius has been able to force turnovers on UB and allow them really to keep attacking.
Will Hudson is going to send it back into the Canisius zone. Seems like Hudson's been around here for a while, listed just as a junior. He's been a 3-year player for this Canisius College Golden Griffins team, recruited by former head coach Jim Hesch. Now, as we mentioned, Dermot McGrain in his second season guiding the Golden Griffins.
Yeah, we've got an interesting on both sidelines as we've got Dermot McGrain on the sideline for Canisius, a longtime coach in the MAC, and coming over from Niagara last year in his second season on the other side with Dave Hesch. He's the guys on our crew said, why is he still and you see Dave Hesch right there. He's in the sunglasses and the hat with the blue polo right on your left-hand side. And Dave's a former St. Bonaventure Bonnie star, and of course, I got to have my obligatory St. Bonaventure mention in there. But with John Astudillo, who's the longtime coach at UB, went on medical leave last year, so Dave stepped up and was the interim coach. They went 8-1, and then John Astudillo officially announced his retirement over the summertime, and so then it was a little bit late in the game to really try to go out and do a national search for a head coach. So they're giving Dave another chance, and this is really for Dave. I mean, he's got a 2-season trial basically to be the head coach here for UB, as you see the offsides on there. But I mean, he was a longtime assistant to John Astudillo, and now he's got an opportunity to take over this program and really put his own stamp on it. And last year, as we said, they played very well after that loss that they had to Canisius. And just for a moment on John Astudillo, and you and I have both done some UB games, soccer games over the year. John Astudillo, one of the most classiest coaches in all of Western New York. And I mean, that program at UB was Division III when John Astudillo took over. He brought him through Division II, Division I. 2005, they were a shootout away from being the MAC champions.
Wow, a shot right on goal, and Kareem Gray makes his biggest stop of the day. Rebound there. Buffalo shoots and scores. After a great save from Kareem Gray, the big rebound it proves to be costly, and the game is tied at 1.
And that's where we haven't really seen UB really attack offensively. That was the first time that we saw them go out and attack offensively, and I believe that the final goal was Richard Craven, the junior from Nottingham, England, came in and got the rebound and scored. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But that was a big opportunity because you see the initial, you take a look, you see the lefty boot, and Gray makes a great save, and you see now that time he's out of position after the first opportunity. So a great job by UB of staying up there, keeping their offense up there, and pushing forward.
Tough break for Kareem Gray, who went to his left, made the big save, but kicked out that rebound, and it was just there waiting. That rebound proved to be pretty costly, and we're tied up at 1. Just over 14 minutes to go here in the first half.
Yeah, and I mean that's tough if you're a goaltender. I mean you make a big save, but you're not able to get your hands on the ball. The rebound comes out, and sure enough, it goes right to one of the UB middies and Richard Craven, the junior, and that's a big goal for UB because I mean really they've been getting dominated this first half, but you look on the scoreboard and it's all equal.
That's Craven from Moonerette.
Craven getting the goal with the assist to number 19, Stephen Moonerette. Moonerette took that first shot that was stopped by Gray, so he'll get the assist, but we're all tied up at 1. As the ball bounces right around midfield, Canisius with a chance to take over, and they do.
And I was going to say, I mean, really for UB, I mean, you've been getting outplayed for almost the first 30 minutes of this match, and then all of a sudden you come in with one nice scoring opportunity. You go and you put the ball in the net, and now you see if it breathes some signs of life for UB, and you see UB defensively now. You see them laying back, and this is completely opposite of what we've seen Canisius do. And, you know, they're content on playing their defense and staying back, and you see Canisius continuing to attack.
On a hot day like this, we mentioned at the start of the game, 87 degrees under sunny skies and probably even warmer down on the field. You wonder which team is in better condition, which team can kind of go the distance.
Well, we talked about that. I mean, you look at these rosters. I mean, both of them have a good size roster, but how many guys are you going to see come in and get substitutions and give guys a couple minutes break, and you want those fresh legs in the second half.
Shot out in front. Boy, they have the right idea. That was a good job by Spearman to set it up, but the header goes up over the crossbar, and it's going to be Buffalo ball.
I've got that down as the sixth shot for Canisius in this first half, and I mean they've really had some good-looking opportunities. We'll take a look at this one more time. You see the nice crossing pass by Marique Albert, the junior from Sacramento, California. You see that header just a little bit off.
The header from number 11, Alex DeCarolis, the freshman from Sarnia, Ontario, had the right idea. Just put it up a little too high, but what a great crossing pass from Spearman to set up that goal-scoring chance.
Yeah, now for UB, let's see. I mean, they attacked the cage. Last time they got a goal. Let's see if they do that. I mean, they really hadn't penetrated that deep into the defense of Canisius.
Ball kicked in, right in the slot. Spearman kicks it out of harm's way for the moment anyway. Sliding tackle, and nice play by Patrick Ryan, number 7 for Buffalo. But now a 2-on-2 out to midfield. Buffalo gets back and steals the ball. Now it looks like UB is being a little more aggressive. Pass in front, intended for Kowal. Their offensive threat couldn't quite get there. Picked off by Canisius, and back out to midfield come the Griffs.
Yeah, I think that goal really got UB kickstarted a little bit.
Spearman lead pass, foot race there. Viscosi gets there just ahead of number 20, Pat Conlon, the sophomore for Canisius. Viscosi has been solid in goal for UB here today.
Yeah, Viscosi looked really good, and he's taken a lot of pressure.
Taking some chances, too.
Yeah, he's come out and he's been very aggressive, but I think that's what you want to see in your goaltenders. I think you want to see him come out and be aggressive. You don't want him just let him sit back and hope for the best. You want him to come out there and really challenge the ball.
Reading some press clippings and talking with people in both athletic communication departments, both at Canisius and at the University of Buffalo, seems like everybody is really happy about this.
their senior. He's their co-captain. Started in 14 games last season, and they got Ryan Aubrey and Jeremy Figler. They also bring some qualities to that defense that those guys might see some time too. So I mean, even there in goal, I mean, it's not set in stone that it's Viscosi. He's still got to continue to earn it. And he's played very well in this first half.
Viscosi boots that one about 70 yards down the field, landing in the Canisius end. This one up high is going to go into the stands, and there's, I would say, a capacity crowd here today. What a great-looking crowd. I mean, the stands are full. You talk about the freshmen on the playing field, you get a good look at the crowd. I mean, there's not really an empty seat here at the Dembski Sports Complex, and, you know, a class is starting next week here at Canisius. There's also not just the freshmen, as I started to say, on the field, but, you know, the freshmen in the stands. It's just a great time of year for them to get out on a beautiful day, enjoy some college soccer, really get to be part of, I guess, the college experience. You know, freshmen leaving home and moving into the dorms. It's a big time of year for them.
And this is what Canisius wanted to see. They wanted to come out and have a nice crowd and really kick off the school year at a good opportunity. And tonight they have. I mean, you see how big this crowd is, and you know they've been fairly quiet, but I mean they have some opportunity to get excited about this Canisius team here in the first half.
Booted from Kowal way wide, and that's going to be another opportunity for Canisius to take over with just over 8 minutes remaining. Good look there at Kowal, who's been pretty quiet so far here today. Seems like anytime the ball gets near him, he has 2, 3, 4 white jerseys all over him. Of course, that's part of the Canisius game plan, trying to shut down their high-powered offense.
Well, and that's the thing, is we talked about it. If we want to talk about who's the aggressor so far in this game, it's clearly Canisius, who's been more aggressive in the midfield and in transition, so much more than we've seen from UB, and a little bit of differing styles, and we see the 1-1 game. So you know, so far it's been working for both teams, and we'll take a look at that last play right there. And you see Shane Sitar get tripped up here. Not a lot of ball there in that tackle, so it'll be UB possession.
think in summary, with just under 7 minutes remaining on the clock, Canisius started this game very strong, got the game's opening goal within the 3rd minute of play from Asani Samuels on the great pass, the corner from Andrew Winko. But the second half of this first half has really belonged to the University of Buffalo. I think it's been the story of 2 different halves.
I mean, really, give kudos to the forwards of Canisius. I mean, I'm just watching Samuels and Spearman. I mean, these are their goal scorers, and these guys, I mean, watch how aggressive they're playing defense when UB gets the ball after a turnover.
Play it back and settle it down to Carolus, the freshman. Schrain up along the far sidelines. Griff's in no hurry. Send the pass across to LaFleur, the sophomore from Liverpool, New York, just outside of Syracuse, and now it'll be fired back into the Buffalo end.
This is where really Canisius has excelled in the first half, is really attacking and getting some pressure on that UB defense. But watch now, I mean, watch the forwards for Canisius. Right here, you're gonna see Samuels, number 10, 15, Spearman. I mean, watch how aggressive they come out. Also, Buzio, number 6, the senior. I mean, watch how aggressive they are playing defense, and these are your goal scorers.
Buffalo with a couple of substitutions. Number 10, Pierre Antonio Tassone, and number 14, Marcus Hansen in the game. So you're starting to see some substitutions from head coach Dave Hesch on the University of Buffalo sidelines. And again, which team is going to stay fresh?
Well, and that's what we talked about, is Dave Hesch has got a little bit more depth on this UB team than he had last year. So he's got those luxuries where he can give his starters a break until halftime here and really get them fresh for the second half. And you know, we've seen 1 or 2 substitutions from Canisius as well. But I mean, these teams both, they have more depth this year in terms of numbers and in terms of talent, of guys who've gotten better and have played for club teams over the summertime and really have worked to get better. So I mean, it's a nice opportunity for some of these guys to come off the bench and show what they can do in limited action.
Inco with a cross to the far side of the field. It's going to be picked up by DeCarolus. Nice couple of moves. Turns the defender inside out. Pumps it out in front. And again, knocked out of harm's way. What a great effort from DeCarolus, the freshman.
Yeah, Pat Collin, number 20, he was right in front of the goal, and he was looking for a header, and he just missed getting that one. And I mean, DeCarolus, I mean, you got to like the freshman and how well he's played in this first half. We'll take a take a peek at this again, and you see DeCarlos. I mean, just a nice placement of the ball. Looks like he got tipped a little bit. And that might be why Conlon couldn't get to it on second look. It might have been tipped a little bit, but I mean, a nice crossing pass.
Canisius maintains possession. A long pass across to Inko. Nice job to knock it down with the left foot. He goes out in front. The header toward the goal and just over. Boy, that didn't miss Mike by much.
And that's what we saw the first time. We saw Inko connect with Samuels, and Samuels looked like he had to change his mind of what he wanted to do with that ball in midair, and take a look at it again. And Inko just a nice lefty crossing pass, and Inko, I mean, look how high he gets up there. I mean, he really skied to get up for that ball.
Oh, and it didn't miss by much, did it?
I mean, he just missed that top of the crossbar.
Inko has had himself a whale of a first half. 3:45 to go on the clock. Canisius struck first. Buffalo countered, and we're all tied up at 1. The lights are on here at the Dembski Sports Complex. There really isn't an empty seat in the house. They're enjoying some Division I college soccer in Western New York tonight, featuring two crosstown rivals, the Canisius College Golden Griffins and the University at Buffalo Bulls. Canisius in white. They've got it in the offensive end. Pass out in front. Very good defensive play by number 4, Jake Jacobs. Gets it out to midfield, but no further. Griffs with the ball. Turn it over. Taken by Tassone. Backs it up. Right out in front, past the defender, right into the goaltender. Kareem Gray has a little trouble with it and is going to hang on with just a shade over 2 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Nice ball right to the net. Unfortunately, there was no UB attacker there to try to put a shot on the net. And we talked about the scoring opportunities for UB. I mean, they've got 2 shots, 2 scoring opportunities, but I mean, Canisius has had so many opportunities just because they've been pushing the issue so much throughout the day.
Pass ahead for Samuels, knocked down. Rolls out of bounds, chased out of bounds by number 4, Jake Jacobs. Buffalo ball. Or no, I'm sorry, that's going to be a Canisius ball.
Yeah, he almost got the flag stolen. Watch the end here. He's like, hey, taking my flag and going home.
Looks like the flag they use on that putting game. The Price is Right.
It does.
I watch a lot of daytime TV. Can you tell?
Not one bit.
Nice flip toss in from Inko. We've seen that a couple of times here today. Get a little extra power on those flip tosses. It's not necessarily all for show. Grabbed by the goaltender Viscosi. It rolls up over the fence and out of play.
Yeah, I mean, as we're heading into halftime, I mean, we really got to, like, if you're a Canisius fan, how well they played in this first half. Just really aggressive on both sides of the ball and in transition. And for UB, they were a little lethargic for about the first 30 minutes of the match. And they got that goal and looked like they got a little bit of a sign of life on them. And, you know, now they've got to see if they can transition that into the second half here and try and take control of this game, because now they've seen how aggressive Canisius is going to come out on them. They need to adjust a little bit.
Officially, both teams with 2 shots on goal, although I think Canisius may have a few more in the direction of the goal. Of course, they keep shots and shots on goal. So shots on goal, 2 apiece, and the score 1-1.
Well, I've got Canisius for 7 shots, not necessarily on goal, but I've got them for 7 shots, 6 scoring opportunities, where it's a legitimate opportunity to score a goal, not necessarily it's a shot on goal. And on the other side for UB, they've got 2.
8 seconds left. Canisius with one last chance. They'll put it in place. Samuels goes up for it. It's going to be headbutted back out to midfield, and that's going to do it for the first half of play Under the lights here at the Dembski Sports Complex on the campus of Canisius College, where the Golden Griffins, the home team, struck first early in the half, and the University of Buffalo Bulls countered later in the half. We are headed to the half with Buffalo and Canisius tied at 1. Back in Buffalo as we get set for the second half of this crosstown rivalry, the Canisius College Golden Griffins in white, the University of Buffalo Bulls in blue, as we get things started here in the second half. We are all tied up at 1. The goaltenders switch sides. The sun not a factor now that it's been down below the horizon. The lights are on, and it is an absolutely beautiful day in western New York. Well, we say beautiful, but it's pretty hot down on the field. We went down for halftime, and we saw the players kind of gasping for air after the first half.
Yeah, even though the sun's down, it's still very warm down there, and we'll see if that plays a factor. We talked about the depth of both of these teams. Both teams have a little more depth than they did last season, and we'll see how that ends up affecting them. But now let's see which team comes out and establishes their tempo in the second half, because for the first 30 minutes of the first half, it was Canisius setting the tempo, and then UB dictated for about the last 15 minutes of it.
And one player for Buffalo that didn't really play a factor in that first half was number 9, Maxim Kowal, their offensive leader. Really, the offense runs through Kowal. He's been pretty quiet, and that's by design. Of course, the Canisius College Golden Griffins know about Kowal's offensive prowess, and they've had an attacker, a defender, or 2 or 3 on him at all times. But you're right, Brendan. Canisius came out, set the tempo early in the game. I thought Buffalo finished the first half strong, and as a result, we've got a 1-1 game. And really, the scoreboard reflects what kind of game it's been. It's been up and down, back and forth, and pretty even so far.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the statistics. They have Buffalo for 5 shots. They have Canisius for 6 shots. Corner kicks, Canisius 4, Buffalo 2. Both goaltenders have 1 save apiece. So, I mean, it's been very competitive, very. Canisius dominated the tempo for 30 minutes, UB for the last 15, but you see on the scoreboard, it is all even. So now, who's going to come out of the locker room and establish themselves as the power in this second half?
Funny, too, because officially the only save that Viscosi was credited for with Buffalo we saw in a highlight during our halftime show, and that was that great stop on Spearman that had the top corner labeled. So his one stop at Andy.
Yeah, nice turnover in transition for UB.
Pass ahead and a pretty good one of that kicked over. Kowal finds a man backdoor. Good defense, broken up. Buffalo maintains possession. Kowal unable to get the shot off around the defender. But again, stepping up and keeping possession is Latte. He goes far side around one defender who goes down. Latte, pass out in front. Knocked down, and it's going to roll out of play.
Stephanie just had his body turned a little bit to the sideline. If he had his body turned a little bit more, he might have had an opportunity for a shot. And we'll take a look at this once again. You see a nice offensive opportunity, and you see Kowal, and you see it just gets flipped there right for a moment. And here you see Stephanie right here, and he has to dump it back to Kowal. Kowal gets it knocked out, but UB is able to keep possession and keep moving the ball forward.
Yeah, that was tic-tac, and they forgot the dough. Almost got there.
Wow, another game show reference. I'm impressed, Dave.
It was a nice series of about 2.5 passes. They couldn't complete that third pass, but Buffalo does maintain possession.
Try to sneak another game show reference. Think I wouldn't figure that out. I'm on your Chuck Woolery foolery. But you've seen here, first couple minutes here of the second half, UB has come out here a lot more aggressive. We didn't really see much of this from them in the first half. We saw some spurts in that last 15, but really now, I mean, they've had the ball probably in their end more in the first 4 minutes of this second half than we saw for the majority of the first half.
Be taken by Canisius goaltender Kareem Gray, wearing number 1, puts it down, directing traffic. Lets his players get into position. Takes a step up, boots it out toward midfield.
That's a nice kick by Gray.
Right to Regan Steele, number 9, knocked it down. You know, interesting when you talk about warm-up music in college sports or professional sports, a lot of times you think about, you know, heavy metal songs like maybe something from Motley Crue or Metallica. Regan Steele's favorite warm-up song, Hakuna Matata from the Lion King soundtrack.
I know, we were talking about that before the game. You said, is this for real? And you never know. And I was doing a lacrosse game out in Rochester, and they were saying that this is professional lacrosse players. I mean, the guys in their mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, and they said their warm-ups, whoa, it's a nice little throw in right there, but they said that their warm-up song was Fireworks by Katy Perry. I mean, you wouldn't think a bunch of middle-aged guys were jamming to Katy Perry.
Yeah, Katy Perry's one thing, but Hakuna Matata, granted, Lion King is one of my all-time favorite movies, but well, Regan Steele from Lower Hutt, New Zealand. And there's a good look at Ryan Schrain from a lot closer to home, Clarence. Schrain in pursuit, beaten to the ball. Nice play, opportunity, shot, save made by Gray from point-blank range. Another rebound, and that sails up over the crossbar. Wow, what a series of events and good offensive chances for the University of Buffalo Bulls.
Oh, what an opportunity for UB Stephanie. We saw him a couple minutes ago have an opportunity from the far side. This time on the near side, you see this, he just trying to get it over Gray, and Gray came out a little bit too far, and you see here on the rebound opportunity, and that shot by Craven, who was looking for his second rebound goal, and just booted that one too high. And I'm going to guess that Craven was going to have nightmares about that shot because he was point blank and just really needed to tap it in, because once again Gray was out of position because he had to slide for that first save.
Little push from behind right in front of the officials. It goes unnoticed, or at least uncalled. Back out toward midfield come the Canisius College Golden Griffins. Spinning around, they'll back it up and try to settle things down. Boy, that was a nice move on that shot right on goal earlier from number 22 in blue, Austin Stephanie for Buffalo. And probably an even better move to get around one of the better defenders, not only on the Canisius team, but really in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. And that is the sophomore, number 4, Ryan Schrain. Here they come. Viscosi comes out. Dangerous ball bouncing around, kicked out of harm's way and out of bounds.
Well, I mentioned Austin Stephanie, the freshman from Watkins Glen. He's had a couple opportunities so far in this second half, and just so close. This time Canisius trying to press down, and they just can't get an opportunity to get it on goal. And those are things they're really pressing and getting shots on goal, and they haven't been able to do that in the first just under 7 minutes of the second half, which we've seen UB already come in and have a couple nice opportunities at the goal.
Officially, Buffalo with 3 shots on goal. Again, more shots, but 3 on goal, 2 on goal for Canisius. So it might sound kind of strange, but if there were any question marks about either one of these goaltenders, and coming into a new season there always is, who's going to step up and be your number one? Well, the limited action that Viscosi has seen for Buffalo and Gray has seen for Canisius may have erased at least some of those question marks early. They've been very good and very aggressive.
Well, when we mentioned it earlier, I mean, both these teams think that they have a couple good goaltenders on their bench. You take a look at Kareem, the opportunity last year in secondary school up in Canada, which they have an extra grade that we don't have down here, so they've got that extra year of season. So he comes in here a little bit more mature than most other freshmen would come.
The ball is put back into play. There you get a good look at number 7, Patrick Ryan, the senior from Rensselaer, New York, in blue for the University of Buffalo Bulls.
Also a transfer over from Virginia Tech. And see a couple transfers on this UB team, and one of those guys, Patrick Ryan, comes in as a senior, and come out and provide that leadership, come in here and give one of those starters a breather for a couple minutes, come in and play some quality minutes on the field and try to make a contribution to your team.
Knocked down in front of Battle. Wow, beating the 1-on-3 was Stephanie. Pass in front for the Bulls. Too far for the first man. The second man gets a header, and then it's booted out of harm's way.
I really like how Stephanie been playing number 22 for Buffalo. I mean, he's really established himself as an offensive force in this second half, and he's really tried to get his opportunities. And you saw that crossing play, and Munarat, that pass was a little bit too deep for him. If they could have kept that in a little bit farther, I think he could have made a better crossing pass in front of the goal for a nicer opportunity. But now UB will get an opportunity for the corner kick, and this is something that their corner kicks didn't really look that good in the first half. So let's see how they do it. This is Munarat here.
Latte from Finland right out in front. Green Gray goes up to get it, comes down with it, and we get a whistle. Gray came down hard. Maybe a foul on Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, Gray got up in the air to get that ball, and he wants to know why he's not getting a whistle for it. He's a little upset with the officials that they're asking him to play on, but I think that the officials have done an excellent job of letting these guys play on and knowing that this is a non-conference rivalry between the two teams, and that even though UB has dominated this series, Canisius came out with a very impressive win in the late stages last year, and you talked about those goals 43 seconds apart. They let these guys play a little bit. I mean, the first game, both teams have got to work out the kinks, but I think that the officials have done a good job of controlling the action and letting these guys go out there and execute their offense.
And Brendan, I think you're exactly right. Both teams seem to have worked out those kinks in the first half. They've settled in. This is a pretty good soccer game. And coaching is very interesting. How do you keep things fresh, especially coming into a new season? What kind of chemistry do you have? How are the newcomers going to fit in? Who's going to step up? Well, head coach Dermot McGrain for Canisius in his second season did something I thought was kind of interesting before the season started. He had his mini Olympics, of course, the Olympic Games going on in London, so it was kind of timely, kind of a newsworthy.
Your preseason, and I'm a coach too, and we have fall ball for the cross, and we don't want to just sit there and make them run sprints and practice every day. We want to get out and let them play paintball or whatever they want to do.
It's so important to build that chemistry and camaraderie.
Well, it is, and that's what I was going to say.
Talent is talent, but how do you play with the talented guy next to you?
That's the thing is, you can have the most talented team in the world, but if you have no chemistry, speaking of the Olympics, remember the 2004 United States men's basketball Olympic team? They had a bunch of the best players in the world on that team, and they were awful because they were all individuals, and they lost the gold medal, and everybody was shocked. But you look at them and say, well, those guys had no chemistry. They were all individual players. They weren't a team, and you build that team camaraderie in training camp, and in those double sessions in August when it's hot out. You want them to dig deep and have some fun, and you get to as a coach, you get to understand their personality away from the soccer field or whatever sport that you're coaching, and you get to look to see that other side, and so you can relate to them on that personal level. And I think that makes the difference. And you talk about what Dermot McGrain did with his team in that mini Olympics. It's such good character building opportunities for the coaching staff to understand their kids better, for the players to understand their team a little bit better, and for more importantly, for them to understand their coach and know that their coach not just that guy on the sideline that yells at him all the time, but they've got a human side. They can go out and have some fun, and I think that's what he wanted to accomplish. And certainly, I think that just watching them in the first game, I think there's some great chemistry on this Canisius team.
1-1 the score. On the near sidelines, who was mishandled. Pretty good play by Jacobs to start. Rolls out of bounds, and it's Canisius ball. Thrown back in over Samuels. Spearman trying.
At this point in the first half, I mean, they really laid it on and had about 4 or 5 good scoring opportunities.
Boy, number 10 in white for Canisius, Asani Samuels, who has the game's first goal. Canisius's first goal in that first half. That's some good feet, doesn't he? Boy, he's quick.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've got to be impressed with how he's played so far today, and you see just whether it's using his head to get in there and redirect a crossing pass, or keeping a ball alive, or dribbling it through the defense. I mean, just such a large skill set.
Samuel's just a sophomore, too, from Jamaica. Boy, right there, you got the best seat in the house right there.
I think that's Willie H. sitting in there, taking one for the team there. You see that camera didn't even flinch.
Header in front, knocked out of harm's way. Bicycle kick over the left shoulder is knocked down by Viscosi.
The athletic department that he can take over this Bulls team and he can lead them. You take a look at Dave Hesh again, that he can lead this team to the next level. He can, I mean, him getting them into the Final Four, the MAC championship last year, and getting the MAC tournament semifinals was big, and I mean they nearly lost that one. I mean they could have been in that championship game very easily, I think. And for this year, it's another opportunity for Coach Hesh to put his stamp on this program. I mean, he learned a long time under John Astadio, and he was very well respected in the UB community. Coach Astadio was, and, you know, if Dave can replicate that, he can have a nice long career building this UB program the way that he'd like to see it.
And earlier today, you and I were talking about the departure of UB women's basketball coach Linda Hill McDonald as well. So quite a transition going on over at the University of Buffalo.
Her contract wasn't renewed, you know, and I know Kathy Twist, who's the tennis coach, she just got a much deserved promotion. So I mean, there's a lot of changes going around at UB, and that's what happens when you see an athletic director leave. And kudos to Ward Manuel. I mean, he's now the athletic director at University of Connecticut. I mean, he's got a lot to deal with, especially with their basketball team being on probation. They've got a new coach in Paul Pasqualini for football. But for Danny White to come in, I mean, Danny White's got a very impressive resume coming in, as did Ward Manuel when he came in, and that's what UB needed. I mean, Ward Manuel was the perfect guy to come in and really pump up this athletic department for UB. And I remember when Ward came in and he said, I'm not going to wear any of my Michigan bull rings. He's like, I want you guys to earn me some. And then tennis, women's tennis won the MAC championship, and then football won the MAC championship, and then Reggie Witherspoon's guys won the regular season championship, and they started winning championships. And I mean, they won more MAC championships under Ward Manuel because he had that faith in them, and he gave his coaches the opportunity to go out and recruit their type of kids and give them the resources that they need. And I think that you're going to see that continue with Danny White. But again, circling that back into this men's soccer team, this is where, you know, Ward Manuel knew everything about Dave Hesch and John Ossedy on the program, where Danny White doesn't. And so this is an opportunity for him to say, you know what, as the interim coach last year, I was 8-8-1, and I'm going to prove to you again that I can replicate that success, or even better yet for Coach Hesch to improve on that success and really make it easy for Danny White to give him the full-time job.
And of course, with success comes visibility, and with visibility it makes recruiting easier. It's that old snowball, and right now we've got a 1-1 game with the lights on here at the Dembski Sports Complex, literally in the shadows of beautiful Forest Lawn Cemetery on the corner of Main and Delavan in Buffalo. Both goals coming in the first half. Fasani Samuels early for Canisius made it 1-0. Richard Craven with 14:33 remaining in the first half, tied it at 1. You get a good look at the Canisius bench and all those orange pennies with the substitutes, while number 8, Andrew Inko, has the ball. Let's see if he does one of those flip tosses in.
Yeah, it looks like he's moving pretty far back, so let's...
He wants some room, doesn't he? Watch this.
Very nice dismount, as our producer and director Eric Carpy astutely pointed out, that both of his feet have to be on the ground as he's releasing the ball in order for that to be a legal throw-in, and certainly you saw him stick that landing.
Viscosi comes up with traffic in front, a little bit of bumping. Officials let him play. Viscosi's going to roll this one ahead. Viscosi, as does Gray at the other end, they both just look so confident.
They do, and I like the way we've seen from these goaltenders. I mean, they've taken some heat and they've been able to stand up to it for the most part. You see a turnover, and again, this pressure defensively in transition by Canisius has really given you going back to you take a look at a nice play by Viscosi. I mean, going back to my Bonaventure days, I mean, if we won only one basketball game a year, that game better have been against Canisius. I mean, it was just it was not acceptable to lose to basketball to Canisius, and they feel the same way. It's not acceptable for them to lose to Bonaventure or Niagara, especially Niagara, because they're a conference opponent, or to UB, and this is a lot of bragging rights for Canisius because of that discrepancy in enrollment. Hey, we knocked down the big boys. I mean, UB is a big public state university, a big research university, where Canisius is a small Jesuit school, and you do that. I mean, it's bragging rights for the year. I mean, you see these guys in the club scene, you see them around town, you say, hey, remember when we kicked your butt last year? I mean, those things go on, and so it's bragging rights, and I think that's why you've seen both these teams play a really nice, tight soccer game so far today.
And as we mentioned earlier, Canisius did win this game last year at Buffalo. That game-winning goal from Andrew Inko also making the Sports Center top 10 that week.
Right, and that really had to be a sore spot for Buffalo. Not only do you lose to Canisius, but you get it shown on Sports Center.
You want to be on Sports Center, but not like that.
You
right?
don't want to be on Sports Center like that.
No. So our score continues to be the same. It's 1-1. 20 minutes and change to go. Loose. Ball inside the Buffalo end, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, that time we're going to get a card right there. We talked about you don't want to make a call unless it's egregious. That was an egregious play on UB's part. So Canisius draws the penalty on UB. And now this is an opportunity where let's see what Canisius can do with this. I mean, they've got the ball in deep, and let's see what they can do with it. Or let's see if we can take a look at that call right here. And we talked about egregious. Yeah, I mean, you got a full hand of the shirt. You see Gavin Faulkner right there. He's got his arms out saying, "What else do I got to do to get a call around here?" Well,
he got it.
You know, you got it. That's exactly what you got to do to get a call. Show me getting tugged on.
LaFleur, number 3 for Canisius, boots it along the far sidelines. It's going to roll into the goaltender, and Viscosi comes way out to make the play. Viscosi setting things up.
So far, Dave, I've got Canisius with 1 scoring opportunity and UB with 2 scoring opportunities in this half. So combined 3 scoring opportunities between the 2 teams. And watch this. This is what I like. You saw Samuel's 10. He's been so aggressive when he plays defense in transition. I mean, I really like how he's playing.
Taken out by Faulkner.
Ball's too deep. But you take a look at Samuel's number 10. I mean, he's 6'5", 175 pounds. I mean, he is tall and thin, but he is fast. I mean, you go back to the Olympics. I mean, the top sprinters were 2 Jamaicans. It was Usain Bolt who went back to back, and I mean, all of a sudden Jamaica's producing all these outstanding athletes. And talk about outstanding. How about those shoes? I mean,
the shoes that make you fast.
Those shoes.
I could wear those shoes and beat Usain Bolt. Well,
those no.
Go crazy.
Only if Usain Bolt gave you a 99-meter head start.
Yeah, they kind of look like your shirt.
I know, that's why I liked it. So I'm glad we got a shot of that. I've been waiting for that shot all day.
Got to get a pair of shoes to match that shirt. Booted toward the scoreboard.
Don't tempt me. If Dave D gave us a clothing budget, I would have shoes like that.
And there they are. They would definitely go with your outfit today.
I might talk to him about a swap. I wonder if he's into brown loafers. They do that after soccer games. They trade jerseys. I mean, maybe we can trade shoes.
Jonathan Viscosi wiping the sweat from his brow down at the other end in goal for Buffalo. Playing the Canisius end to our right. The throw in under the lights. Right in the middle. Off the Canisius defender. That was LaFleur.
As Samuels was trying to break free of that, you see Coach McGrain. He wants a fall on that one. You can just see. I mean,
pulling his hair out.
You see the intensity. All the little hair on there. That's a Dave Miller haircut.
Foot race here. Oh, Samuels just beaten to the ball. Great defensive play for Buffalo. That was number 4, Jake Jacobs.
Yeah, but we're going to get a corner kick out of this and a golden opportunity for Canisius because, as we said, we haven't seen a lot of scoring opportunities. So you're thinking that next goal is going to win this game. So here in the corner kicks, and we saw Canisius, they had some nice looks at the corner kicks in the first half, and they weren't able to convert any, but they had some nice opportunities. And let's see now if they can convert this into a scoring opportunity and possibly a goal.
Faulkner right out in front, and the goaltender Viscosi goes up and grabs it.
I thought Spearman was right in front of Viscosi for a moment, and Viscosi really cut off his opportunity because Spearman was in great position to head that one in.
Neither team wanting to make that critical mistake in a 1-1 game.
I checked it. That was DeCarlis.
Rolls out of bounds. Kareem Gray, the goaltender, chasing it down, and we'll have a substitution. I believe that's Faulkner getting a bit of a breather for Canisius, so number 23 is on the bench.
Yeah, Faulkner's going to get a breather, and Andrea Conti, the sophomore from Italy, will come in and replace him.
Hudson back over for Schrain. Schrain has room. Midfield and over. Regan Steele, the pass. Intercepted. Nice play defensively for Buffalo. And now the Bulls will bring it past the midfield stripe. Backed up.
Yeah, that was a great job defensively by Lucas Spedler, the sophomore from Germany for UB. Really stopping it, because if that ball goes through, I mean, that's possibly a golden opportunity for the Golden Griffins.
Kowal from the midfield stripe. Nice pass ahead. Bouncing around, aggressive defense. Little pulling, grabbing, pushing, shoving back into the Buffalo end. Chased down along the near side. And again, Buffalo maintaining possession with just over 15 minutes remaining in a 1-1 game here in the second half. From Canisius, where it's knocked down. Bulls have it. Far side, nice job. Good defensive play there for Canisius.
Yeah, that was Conti who just came into the game.
Samuels in a foot race. Viscosi comes out. Nice job by Viscosi to take it in the midsection, settle things down, and he sends it over to Kowal.
Yeah, you mentioned the first half how aggressive these goaltenders are, and that was a very aggressive play by Viscosi. But, I mean, you need to do that because, I mean, you can't sit back and wait and see if Samuels is going to get that through ball.
Kowal's open. Viscosi, the goaltender, yelling out some directions and instructions as Buffalo will back things up. Want to settle things down and have a nice controlled possession here. It's Kowal.
Yeah, Kowal hasn't had much opportunity offensively. I mean, I believe that's only the second or third time all game he's really touched the ball for more than just a moment. So Canisius defensively has been doing a really good job on him.
Pass back for Kowal. Little stutter step is going to back off. Nice job to maintain possession. Chase back into his own end. Loose ball taken by Buffalo again toward the far sidelines.
This is really the first time in probably about 10-15 minutes that we've seen UB have the ball, and they're half offensively where they've been able to maintain possession for more than just about 10-15 seconds. I mean, this is an opportunity for them to really try and see if they can get something here.
A long-range shot that rolls wide. That'll be a turnover in Canisius ball. And Canisius making another substitution.
Yeah.
Looks like Regan Steele is going out. He'll take a seat. And there's a good look at DeCarlos, number 11, the freshman, getting a bit of a break.
And he's done an excellent job today. I mean, it is his very first collegiate game. And we talked about, you know, with him being a Canadian and him getting a little more seasoning in high school than the traditional high school athlete. I mean, he's really come in here and established himself as a guy that can come in here and contribute to this team right away. And he's had a couple nice plays so far today.
On the near side, pass over. Good aggressive defense for Buffalo. They come away with it. Now it's Kowal leading the rush. Kowal, very crafty, tries to split the defense. Wisely dishes it off. Pass on the near side, open for a moment. Unable to get the shot off, still loose. There's a shot into a wall of white defenders.
I think he was trying to sneak that through to Stephanie, who'd got some good position in there. But now we've seen UB establish themselves a little bit more offensively in the last couple minutes.
Bulls working with it in the offensive end. 12-13 to go here in the second half of a 1-1 game. Both goals coming in the first half here at the Dembski Sports Complex. And the Bulls will bring it in. Pass to nowhere.
Yeah, they're looking for Marcus Hansen, who was crossing in front, but it was off the mark.
Foot race for it. Good job by the Canisius defender, but they're going to draw a whistle.
UB has had the ball in their half of the field for quite some time, and they haven't produced a scoring chance out of it, but baby steps, and they've been able to go through a little bit better here the last couple minutes and really try to move the ball around offensively.
Richard Craven with a long cross. He has the only goal for UB so far. That header goes just wide, and it'll be Canisius ball with the goaltender Kareem Gray setting it in play. The pace has slowed considerably here at this stage of the game, and given the fact that it was 87 degrees when we started this game, I guess it's not all that unexpected, but University of Buffalo continues to put some pressure on offensively. Here they come. This one booted out of bounds.
Yeah, this has become a little bit more of a chess match here than it was in the first half, and we've seen the teams kind of jockey for position, and both teams have played very good defensively, and we mentioned not a lot of scoring chances here in the second half for either team, and that's really because the defense is tightened up. You see Stephanie coming back in the game, and I think he's going to be a real key here coming down the stretch for UB, because I thought in the early part of the second half he did a really nice job of getting himself into some open spaces and giving himself an opportunity to get open for a couple shots.
Thing about soccer that never ceases to amaze me. I mean, about 30, 35, going on 40 seconds have ticked off the clock and nothing has happened. Then there's the rules in this crazy sport as it goes into gray and the goaltender makes a save, but a heavy collision deep has one UB player down.
Yeah, I think that might be Craven who took the brunt of that at the end. I mean, he came down pretty hard. He's smiling now and just has to shake out the cobwebs a little bit. But I mean, that's tough. I mean, when you're in that big scrum like that, and you're trying to get higher than everybody else to get your head on that ball, and I mean, you're coming down. I mean, that turf's not the most forgiving when you're landing full speed from about 6 or 7 feet in the air.
No question, it's not that forgiving. But remember about 4 or 5 years ago when they had the old AstroTurf here? That was like playing on asphalt, especially on cold days in the winter when you're talking about the late season soccer games or the early season lacrosse games. As Schrain moves up, he's a defender but has room. Schrain actually back in his own end, kicks it back for Gray. He had pressure coming from the backside. That was a good play by Schrain, the defenseman.
Schrain's had a nice game as well tonight too, and he's gotten himself in the middle of a lot of action, a lot of potential opportunities for UB where he's come in and gotten his foot on the ball, where he's come in there and just caused a little bit of commotion to get UB off their course a little bit.
Seeing more and more substitutions at this stage of the game with just over 9 minutes remaining in the second half. Canisius makes another. And the goaltender, Kareem Gray, directing traffic, steps up, boots it way past midfield. Another good kick. No wind at all. I mean, it's very, very still out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of humidity, not a lot of wind to
chases it down, goes one-on-one with the defender. Samuels gets around the defender.
Yeah, take a look at defensively who was there to knock that ball away. It was the Carrolls.
Kowal's slow to get up, but I don't think he's injured. He's just a little upset with himself. He'd like that one back. Take a look at it.
That was an excellent scoring opportunity. Take a look at it again. You see Craven just dumps that right in. Look at Kowal. He's right there. I mean, the timing is right there. You see the freshman right there for Canisius just gets a little bit of his heel on that ball to not give him an opportunity to score. Kowal, I mean, just a beautiful entry pass by Craven. Nice timing on that. So close for UB.
UB, the more aggressive of the two teams at this stage of the game anyway. 6:49 to go here in the second half. Score remains 1-1. Canisius in white. The Golden Griffins have it in the offensive end. Far sideline corner, or across toward the goal, ends up in the corner.
You saw Samuels. Samuels almost ran that ball down. This kid has just been a fantastic soccer player. I mean, look at 6'5". I mean, that's pretty tall for a soccer player. And 175. I mean, I'm 6'3" and I got about 50 pounds on him, so you can just imagine how lanky he is. But he moves so well, and he's got such a nice quick burst, and that's what makes him so deadly at that forward position. And we got
a yellow card. I believe that's on Buffalo. It came away from the play, way away from the play, out in midfield.
Yeah, it's the second yellow card that we've seen on the Bulls here in the second half.
I think it's going to be called on number 7 for UB, and that's Patrick Ryan. the senior from Rensselaer, New York. I do believe that yellow card on number 7 for UB. Didn't exactly see what happened. It was back in midfield away from the plate.
Yeah, it was behind the plate, so we didn't get a chance to peek at it, but
got a feeling something might have been said that the officials didn't care for. Just a guess.
Quite possibly. You never know in the heat of battle what's going to go on down in that field. So this is what we talked about in the first half about look how aggressive the forwards and the middies are for Canisius once UB gets the ball in the midfield. I mean, they're really there. They get right up on them and really force the issue, and it's been giving UB some problems throughout this whole game.
The clock continues to move as we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the second half. 1-1 the score. Buffalo with the toss in. Coming out is Gray, the goaltender. He was challenged. Bit of a push. No call.
Stephanie was looking for a call because I was a little bit surprised that Gray came out there for it because I thought that Stephanie would have had an opportunity to come get that.
Viscosi comes out. The free kick, and he boots it a mile. Train went up to get it. Buffalo, however, maintains possession. Taken by Ryan. Stolen. Craven back for Kowal. Kowal spins to his right. Picks up some speed. Pass ahead blocked. Kowal's got it. Kowal from behind. Stripped. Canisius ball, and they've got some room to move it out.
I thought they could have had an opportunity to get that in the corner for a crossing pass, and they just couldn't get over there. And I think Ryan.
Regulation, we will play a 10-minute overtime session. Golden Goal wins. And there'll be a second 10-minute overtime session if there's no goal scored in the first. But it's going to be one of those sudden death opportunities. But 2 10-minute overtime sessions if indeed we do need to go that far. Just over 2 minutes to go here in regulation, and it's 1-1.
Well, don't forget we saw a goal in the late stages of that game last year between these two teams, and as we talked about, both of these teams are starting to press it a little bit more to try to get that goal in.
Opportunity for Buffalo here past the first defender, past the second wave. Gray comes out and makes the play. Gray wastes no time with the overhand toss out to midfield. And here come the Golden Griffins with an opportunity to set up on the offensive end.
Yeah, they didn't have the numbers, so they pulled it back out a little bit.
Good job by Klopfer to pull it out. Now Samuels has it. Shakes one defender. Talk about his quickness. You'll see him get around one man. Gets the return pass. Nice give and go. Kick back toward the corner. Who's going to get there first?
Nobody's there for Canisius anyway.
There's a cross. Out in front for DeCarlos. Got the shot, and a save made by the defender. Oh, and DeCarlos can't believe it. He's got his hands on his head.
What a great save by the defenseman, Jesse Ando, number 3. We talked about him a little bit in the first half. And watch number 3 in blue come in here. You see him. He's out of position there. The moment you see DeCarlos, you see that high leg right here, but you take a look at what at the last second. Just a great job of laying his body out.
No way Viscosi, the goaltender, would have got there either.
No.
Wow. What a great save by the defender. Literally a game-saving save in a 1-1 contest.
If Endo's not there, this game is 2-1 Canisius.
And we're headed for the subway in 60 seconds, but that's not the case. Not yet anyway. Here comes Kowal in the other direction. Opportunity here. Buffalo's going to settle things down. Pass out in front. Nobody home. Dangerous off the Canisius defender and cleared out of harm's way. Some exciting action here in the final 2 minutes or so of regulation. Pass across from the far sidelines. Right out in front. Cleared again, but not past midfield. Half a minute to go. Header knocked down by Buffalo from the left side. Good sliding tackle and kicked out.
Nice slide tackle back at the back end.
Rolls out of bounds. Nobody in a real hurry. Kareem Gray is going to hang on, and I think he's going to hang on for overtime.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play. Just hang on to that. Let's wait for the opportunity in overtime.
Welcome back to the Dembski Sports Complex. Under the lights.
The thing for Gray is he hasn't really had a lot of opportunities to make saves tonight, but when he did, he came up and really did not see each other. And the only goal that Gray gave up was that rebound goal.
And the initial save was outstanding.
He made an excellent initial save, but of course the rebound comes out. He's out of position because he just made an outstanding save, and Craven's there to collect the loose change, so to speak, and knock that one in. But other than that, I mean, he's just had an outstanding 90 minutes of soccer.
From the Dembski Sports Complex here in Buffalo, the season opener for these two crosstown Griffins in white, the University at Buffalo Bulls in blue. And Brendan, you can't help but wonder, especially going to overtime on a very hot day, how much is conditioning going to play a factor, if at all, in the decision of this game?
Well, I think it's going to play a major decision in this game. We talked about both of these teams having a little bit more depth than what they did last year. For UB, I mean, it's actual numbers. I mean, they went from 18 to 25. But with Canisius, they've got more depth due to experience, and they came in and they brought some freshmen in that can come in and play and contribute. And we've seen that from Nicaragua throughout this contest. So I mean, really now it's a time of who's going to come out and get aggressive and really lay the hammer down here in overtime.
And of course, in Division I collegiate soccer, they call it the golden goal. It's no longer known as sudden death or sudden victory. I mean, it's all the same deal, but it is the golden goal. First goal in overtime will win. If there's none scored in this first 10-minute extra session, there will be a second overtime, and Canisius will start with possession. They're in white. They've got it in the offensive end. The turnover, and out come the Bulls, led by Kowal. And relatively quiet today. He's had a couple of chances, but misfired on 2 or 3 different occasions.
Well, we didn't really see much from Kowal until late in the second half. I mean, Canisius defensively did a really good job of shutting him down and not giving him any scoring opportunities, and not even just not scoring opportunities, but any opportunities to dribble the ball at all.
Here's a long pass intended for Samuels. Can he chase it down? Wow, look at the wheels on him. He can fly. Samuels gets it in the corner. Samuels tries to shake the defender.
And you gotta like this matchup if you're Canisius.
Pass out in front. Very good defensive play by number 4, Jake Jacobs, the freshman from Hampshire, England, breaking the play up.
Yeah, and Samuels, you gotta be impressed with him. I mean, he's so fast, so quick. I mean, he's got those long legs, and he makes that stride. You see him get in the corner. I mean, right here. I mean, this is just a nice job of just trying to get himself out of the way and give himself an opportunity for his team.
Corner kick right out in front. Buffalo defender goes down. Shot and a save made by Viscosi.
Viscosi, a great save. I mean, that one certainly could have been a game ender. I mean, that was a nice looking play by Canisius.
To Golden Griffins, who start overtime with a little bit of bounce in their step after ending regulation. I thought kind of back on their heels.
Yeah, they were definitely back on their heels toward the end of the second half, and just really trying to weather the storm. As UB had a couple nice opportunities on the offensive end, but I mean now they're coming out, and this is the aggression that we saw from Canisius to begin the contest.
Pass across to an open wing where it's going to be taken by Latte. The cross out in front. Unable to get that shot off was Stephanie. Rolls toward the sidelines, and there's a good-looking number 22, Austin Stephanie, just the freshman from Watkins Glen, New York.
I'll tell you, Austin Stephanie, I mean, he's really come out today, and we talked about that both these teams had a couple freshmen that they thought could come in and contribute. Austin Stephanie, you really got to like what you've seen from him, and he's done a great job. I mean, he's listed as a defenseman in the midi, but he's played more forward today than anything else, and I think he's established himself as one of those guys that they can count on as a freshman.
Samuels gets the return pass. Samuels has the Canisius goal, couldn't pull the trigger this time. Good defensive play, and Buffalo will take over. Sitar bouncing ahead, picked up by Latte, stolen from behind momentarily anyway. And this loose ball is going to roll back into the Canisius end, where Schrain is going to let Gray take over. And Gray gives it to his defender, and that's number 4, Ryan Schrain. Kareem Gray takes over.
Yeah, can we talk about that defensive backfield? I mean, you talk about Schrain back there, and you know, local guy, and you mentioned LaFleur. He's from Liverpool, which is a suburb of Syracuse, and the north suburb of Syracuse. I mean, he's only a couple hours down the road. I mean, you keeping these upstate New York kids, you know, really at home.
The goaltender Viscosi boots one. First man there is Schrain with the header to midfield. Canisius will maintain possession. Falconer, Spearman, and again the Griffs have it. They'll try to set up on the offensive end. Pass across for Carey, the sophomore, wearing number 12. Long boot. He's going to sail high up over the crossbar, and that's going to give the ball back to Buffalo.
Yeah, I thought that play was a little bit slow developing for Canisius. I thought that they had Carey on that wing. He's talking about Syracuse, another Syracuse native out of Cicero North Syracuse High School, another north suburb of Syracuse, obviously, with Cicero North Syracuse. But I mean, I thought they had him a little bit earlier, and they could have allowed him to really dribble that one in the corner and try a crossing pass for a better shot opportunity.
Viscosi, they go up to get it. Knocked down to the near sidelines and out of bounds. Buffalo going to make a substitution here as the clock continues to move in overtime. Looks like it's Kowal who's going to take a seat.
Yeah, Kowal's coming out, and Richard Anscoff, the freshman from Great Britain, will come in here to finish up at least his first overtime if we don't have a goal here.
Buffalo pass back. It is Anscoff who's got it, lost his footing, turnover. Canisius with a fast break and a burst of speed down the far side. Here come the Golden Griffins. Long shot. Oh, it sails just wide.
Such a nice look, too. Take a look at that one more time. You see Faulkner with that boot just off the mark. I mean, angle was just a little bit off. I mean, that was a pretty ball.
Corner kick for Canisius. Very dangerous. Right out in front. Shot, and another stop from Viscosi. Oh, my, has he been solid here today.
Especially that's his second save that I've got him recorded for here in overtime alone. He only had one save in the second half. He's already had two here.
Two dandies in overtime.
Yeah, we've only played 7 minutes of overtime.
So the senior goaltender for Buffalo boots one high into the lights. Schrain goes up to get it. Right at midfield, too far for Samuels. Little pushing and shoving around midfield, and Canisius is going to cough it up. It's going to be taken by Buffalo over on the far side. 2.5 minutes to go here in the first 10-minute overtime session. 1-1 the score. Both goals coming in the first half. Rolling back into Gray, where he's going to take over.
Yeah, we saw that Canisius goal less than 4 minutes into the the first half, and we thought, wow, they're starting off real quick, and they might be able to put a couple on. But you got to credit the UB defense. I mean, they really settled down after that and have played a really nice game.
And of course, the anchor of that defense, wearing number 00, Jonathan Viscosi, the senior netminder, having a whale of a game today. Nice way to start the season. Nice way to start your senior season.
Well, we talked about the goaltending depth. I mean, this is a nice way for him to start off and really try to establish himself as that number one goaltender for this UB team.
Opportunity for the throw-in. Right down at field level. It's tossed in by Canisius along the near sidelines. Intercepted instead by UB. That's Jacobs. Buffalo turns it over. And another throw-in for Carey. Knocked down, backed up. Falconer to an open wing. Opportunity on the far side for DeCarlos. He's got room. DeCarlos with a cross. Way over the head of Samuels. Samuels does a nice job to chase it down, though. Boy, the play is never over when Samuels is involved. I thought that was going out of bounds and it would be a turnover. Instead, Samuels continues to battle in the corner, and now it's turned over. UB ball.
It's really not lack of effort on Samuels' part. He did a nice job there trying to keep that ball alive after running down that cross.
So inside 1 minute remaining in the first overtime session. 1-1. Ball belongs to Buffalo, and it's Jake Jacobs. Jacobs feeling some pressure, gets it out. Headbutted right at midfield by Will Hudson, number 19 on white for Canisius. And now here comes DeCarlos, the freshman who's had a good game. Goes to the left foot. Cross out in front for Samuels. Got a header on it, and it goes wide. Had the right idea.
Canisius can't say that they haven't had their chances here in overtime. I mean, that's the fourth scoring opportunity that they've had. I mean, again, they're just so close. And DeCarlos, nice cross.
Defender got a piece of it before Samuels
just got a piece of it. I mean, Samuels still was up.
Canisius was just kind of holding on at the tail end of regulation, and then had 3 or 4 very, very, very good scoring opportunities in that first overtime session. So we'll see how things turn out here as we get started in our second of 2 10 overtime sessions. Again, golden goal. If there's a goal scored, this game is over. There's a cross kick right out in front from the corner. Griff's unable to come up with it, and they will turn it over. Buffalo ball.
Why I had Canisius for 4 scoring opportunities,
and 3 of them are goals.
So many opportunities for Canisius, and I think that Dermot McCrane is going to look back at this and say, guys, well, offensively we're where we want to be. We just need to finish.
Craven with a corner, right out in front. Pretty good corner, but a good defensive play for the Griffs. Boy, if you think conditioning is going to play a role, there was a full-out sprint and chase for the ball over on the far side. Kind of let the adrenaline take over in a situation like this. Like Take a look at that chance.
Well, let's take that scoring chance. I mean, so close for UB, and you see again, Gray just had some good position, and that ball just almost just sent just a little bit over his glove, and that one just goes above the crossbar. But that was a nice looking opportunity for UB, and as we mentioned, they haven't had very many opportunities, but the opportunities they've had have been really nice looking. I think that's encouraging for Coach Hess and his staff here.
Richard Craven, number 8 in blue for Buffalo, has the Bulls' only goal, and he's got a corner kick opportunity. The corner from Craven, right out in front, shot on. Gray in the right place at the right time, and he makes the save. And up, sent back, and again Buffalo will hit the midfield stripe with 3:43 to go here in the second of 2 10-minute overtime sessions. We mentioned after this, Canisius will play the next 3 on the road: Robert Morris, Eastern Illinois, and IUPUI. And for the University of Buffalo on the flip side, pass right out in front. Oh, an opportunity there, sails up over the crossbar. But after today for Buffalo, it's 4 straight home games. St. Bonaventure starting on Tuesday, Binghamton, Siena, and Detroit. Let's take a look at that last scoring chance.
Again, this is their 3rd scoring opportunity in this second overtime, and so close. You see Stephanie gave way to Craven, and Craven's had, you see him put his hands on his head. Craven has had 2 of those tonight. You see he's frustrated. That's the second one Craven's had from about point-blank range that he has just skied right over the crossbar.
Craven, just a junior, wearing number 8 for Buffalo. Turned over inside the UB end, back out to midfield, and it's going to be backed up one more time. Nice job to go back and get it for Fedler. Fedler, pressure coming. Along the near sidelines, they'll send it in. Schrain off the midsection. Good job to recover with his right foot, bouncing around. And again, knocked down. It's going to be chased down by Canisius. Far side, Spearman, who's had a number of good chances offensively today. Probably the best save of the game was on Spearman when Viscosi shut the door on him during regulation.
Yeah, certainly we were doing a save of the game. That was the one on Spearman, because that would have made the game 2-0 Canisius and would have changed the complexion of this contest completely.
Holding the ball on the far side is the freshman Marcus Hansen, wearing number 14. Hansen's got it. No hurry. 2 minutes remaining in the second overtime session. What a way to start the 2012 collegiate soccer season. A 1-1 game between 2 crosstown rivals here in Western New York. Canisius had some golden scoring chances in the first overtime. Buffalo, for the most part, has dictated the tempo here in the second overtime, but it remains 1-1.
We're looking at overtime. I had 4 scoring opportunities for Canisius in the first overtime, none here in the second overtime. UB, no scoring opportunities in the first overtime, 3 scoring opportunities in the second overtime. So I mean,
obviously been a game of momentum shifts, hasn't it?
It's been a game of shifts here, and there's still a minute left. I mean, still an opportunity for UB. They've had a couple good looks here. The thing is not sure if they're going to be able to finish. They've just been a little bit off all day.
Pass in front, headed, still bouncing around like a hot potato. Now it bounces in front of Samuels.
Well, I think Gray got a fist on that one. I don't know if
something on it.
Yeah, just enough to move that ball out of the way.
Far sideline, 1 defender beat. Oh, sad numbers, but it rolled out. Now the throw in. Pretty good job to get it back for Klopfer.
Should be Buffalo ball.
Yeah, it's going to be Buffalo. Nice try.
They had a 4-on-3 fast break.
Yeah, they had numbers.
Canisius coming down here and just couldn't keep the ball in bounds.
Approaching half a minute to go here in the second overtime. 1-1. Buffalo with the ball far sidelines.
This kid Stephanie, I really like how he's played so far today in his first game as a freshman. And we mentioned he's listed as a defenseman and a midi, but he's been playing that forward position all night long, and I think he's done a really superb job doing that.
The clock continues to move, and I think this game is going to come to an anticlimactic ending. Now they're going to stop it with 7 seconds to go, but you see the push from behind. Clearly, number 22, Austin Stephanie, you mentioned has had a pretty good game, but they have words. The clock continued to move. I don't think the officials are going to put any time back up, or are they? And one strange thing about the sport of soccer, I'm not criticizing it. It is what it is, but I mean, a good 20 seconds rolled off the clock while absolutely nothing happened, and now they are going to put some time back on. It looks like
they put 15 seconds on, so they added 8 seconds to make it 15, but still, again, not. You can hurry and get something here, but I mean, it's going to be very tough. No, they put 22 seconds on. Take that back. So they added 15 seconds on to what was there.
Now the goaltender boots it in. Loose. Out in front. Canisius goes up for it. Griffs can't quite get it. Sails up over the crossbar. This one's going to go wide. And it looks like both teams will be content going to their respective showers after a 1-1 tie. Indeed, the final seconds tick off the clock, and what an entertaining game. It is a final. It goes into the record books as a tie.